This is the lesson 6.3 DL sheet on factoring and combining like terms. So factoring is really the exact opposite of the distributive property. What I'm looking for is I'm looking in my two pieces here to see what's the biggest piece that I can take out of both of those. So when I look at that, I see that 5 goes into 5 and 5 goes into 40. So I'm going to take the 5 to the outside. So now I have to kind of think back. 5 times what gives me 5x? And that would be times x. And now I want to think of 5 times what gives me a positive 40? And that would be a positive 8. So when you factor, it's the exact opposite as distribute. If I now distributed this, I would get this expression back. Okay, so, well, I guess I should have done that right over here. 5, and I get x plus 8. Okay, so number 2, here's my expression. So I'm looking, whenever this first term is negative, we must factor out a negative value. So I'm trying to figure out what's the greatest thing that goes into both 6 and 9, and I see that that's 3. So I'm going to factor out a negative 3. So again, now I'm thinking negative 3 times what gives me a negative 6x? Well, negative times a positive gives me a negative, and then I need my x with it. Now I'm thinking negative 3 times what gives me a positive 9? Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 3 times negative 3 gives me back positive 9. So if I redistributed this, negative times positive is a negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. When I look at this, again, I'm looking for what's the biggest piece that goes into both of these. And I see that 6 goes into both. So I'm going to factor out a 6. So now I'm asking myself, 6 times what gives me a 12a? 6 times 2 gives me 12, and then I need my a. Now again, remember, I'm going to see this as a negative 30. So 6 times what is negative 30? 6 times negative 5, and then I still need that b. Now I can close my parentheses. 4, there's a little more to factor out here. So first I'm looking for, with these, I'm looking for just the greatest number that goes into both. Now remember, because this first piece is negative, I have to factor out a negative. I see 8 is the largest number that goes into both. But what I also see is they both have a common factor with the letters. They both have a b. So I'm going to factor out the b because I need to factor the greatest common factor. So now negative 8 times what gives me negative 16? That would be a positive 2. So I already have the b, but I still need the a. So if I remultiply these, that would give me negative 16 a b. Got it back. Now I need it to be positive 24. So negative 8 times what gives me a positive 24? It's a negative 3. I already have the b, but I don't have the c. So again, if I remultiply it here, negative times negative is positive 24. B times c, bc. Okay, when there's 3 terms, still I want to factor this completely. So I'm looking to see what's the largest number that goes into all 3. And it looks like it's a 7. Now I want to look to see, are there any common letters? R, T, R, W, D, R. Looks like all 3 have an R, so I need to factor out the R. Now I need to get my 14 RT. So 7 times 2 is 14. I already have the R, but I need the T. Okay, now again, I need to get a negative 21. So 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. I already have the R, but I need the W. Now I need to get a positive 35. So 7 times positive 5 is 35. I already have the r, but I need the d. There's factored completely. Okay, combining like terms. I can only combine terms that have the same variables, and they have to be the same exponents to call them like terms. So when I look at this, I see 10x squared, and again, I'm always taking the sign in front. Here's another x squared. So these two are like terms. So I'm going to say 10x squared plus 3x squared. Altogether, I would have 13x squared. Okay, now I'm looking, I have positive 4x. I have a plus 3x. So 4x plus 3x gives me positive 7x. But then I still have this piece here, so I just have to rewrite it, plus 5xy. It doesn't go with anything else. I'm going to skip back to 6 since I skipped 6. 6 is even easier. Start with my 5x, and again, take the sign in front of it. 5x plus 4x is 9x. Okay, now I'm going to do my y's. So I have positive 6y plus 3y. 6 plus 3 is 9y's. Okay, maybe try some of these on your own and then see if you can resume the video and get the same answer. This one's a little trickier because I have a negative. So negative 6x, and then here's another x. So negative 6 plus 5. Signs are different. Find the difference. I get negative 1x. Now I'm going to take my y's. Positive 12y minus 9y. So the way I can see this is 9 plus negative 12. There are more negatives than positives. Signs are different. Find the difference. So I get negative 3y. Then I still just have plus 6. Now the only way to make this better is just like we don't typically write, if I just have x, I don't write 1x. When it's negative, I don't either. I just put negative x minus 3y plus 6. Okay, here when I look, there are no other xy's. When I go to do the 6x, there's no other just x's. And there are no other just y's. So this already is simplified. There are no like terms for me to combine.